Myself Amar, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs in SACCP Bijinagar. I am going to explain about cGMP, which is US Subpart 210 and 211. What is GMP? First, we have to know GMP, that is good manufacturing practice, before going to the cGMP. It is part of quality assurance which ensures that the products are consistently produced and controlled to the quality standard to their intended use and as required by the marketing organization or product specification. GMP is recognized worldwide for the control and management of manufacturing and quality control testing of food and pharmaceutical products. Here mainly giving the quality assurance of pharmaceutical product that consistently producing with quality standards or with reference standards. And this GMP is recognized worldwide in order to control and management of manufacturing and quality control tests. cGMP, in the C represent current good manufacturing practice. This refers to the regulations enforced by the US Food and Drug Administration FDA, and it provides system that assure proper design, monitoring and control of manufacturing process and facilities. Here in the GMP we are going to explain the control and manufacturing process. Here we are going to give the proper design how we are going to control and manufacture the process which is involving in the development of pharmaceutical products. US cGMP Part 210 and 211. Here it includes 210 and 211. If you think for US FDA regulations, that is 21 CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. So in that 21, it comes, the title 21 includes food and pharmaceutical and food and drugs basically. So that's why this cGMP parts came under 210 and 211. And 210, it indicates or represent cGMP in manufacturing, processing, packaging or holding of drugs, and 211 for finished products. These are the two categories or two separate guidelines we are following. When it comes to the US, this cGMP as a good manufacturing practice guideline we are following. When it comes to India, we are going for schedules basically. So for GMP, schedule M is the main responsible for India, and for US, cGMP part 210 and 211. So 210, it includes three subcategories: 210.1, 210.2 and 210.3, and one states of current good manufacturing practice regulations, status of current good manufacturing practice and regulations, and two, applicability of cGMP regulations, and three, some of the definitions we are going to see here. 1. Status of current good manufacturing practice and regulations. Here should maintain minimum current good manufacturing practice for methods to be used in the manufacturing, processing, packing and holding of the drugs to assure that such drug meets the requirements related to the quality and safety. If it fails, then the drug product said to be adulterated. The person who is responsible for the failure shall be subjected to regulated actions. Here mainly the quality and safety taking care, that too minimum cGMP should practice. If it fails, the product is said to be adulterated. We know that adulterated, and it's not meeting the quality standard, and those who are responsible for that, they are subjected to regulated actions. You have to give the correct reason or the proper reason to the authority. And 2, applicability of cGMP regulations. Here applies to drug product for human use such as biological products which are submitted under the section 505 and some biological product license applications. And 3, some of the definitions I told act, batch, component, drug product, active ingredient, inactive ingredient. These are the definitions which are going to come under this section, and they are going to explain what is act, what is batch, and what is drug product, what is active ingredient, what is inactive ingredient. They are going to explain individually. Continuous to the previous slide. Strength, quality control unit, potency, actual yield, acceptance criteria. These are the individual definition which I have done with the meaning of the each definitions. Active ingredients, inactive ingredients, manufacture, processing, packaging, and holding of drugs. You already know that active ingredient and all, any component that has a pharmacological activity or in modulated form used to cure, diagnose, or for prevention of treatment. And active ingredient, inactive ingredient, it's an component other than the active ingredient which are going to support during the formulation of any drug product development. And manufacturing, processing, packaging, and holding of a drug product, it means the manufacturing and processing, packaging, and everything, labeling operation, testing, and quality control of drug product. Then cGMP part 211, it includes subparts like subpart A to subpart K, and each subparts having the individual representation. That is subpart A having the general provision, subpart B having the organization and personnel, subpart C building and facilities, D equipments, E control of components and drug product containers and closures, F production and process controls, and G packaging and labeling, H holding and distribution, I laboratory controls, J records and reports, and K returns and salvage drug products. Okay, subpart A general provisions. It says the regulations in this part contain minimum current GMP for preparation of drug product for administration to humans. And B, organization and personnel deals with the responsibilities of quality control, and the quality control unit shall be responsible for approving or rejecting the drug product manufactured, processed, and packaged. Here, there is adequate laboratory facilities used to test or give the approval, or it may be reject the drug products with the proper quality control tests. And those who are the personnel involving in the quality control should be well qualified and well aware of the quality standards. Here they are going to test drugs and also containers and packing materials, in-process materials, and drug products, final drug products. Subpart C, building and facilities. Here the building and facilities used in the manufacturing, processing, packaging, and holding shall be having the suitable size, and construction and location of facilities should be clean and maintained in the proper manner according to the SOPs. Any such building shall have adequate space for storage of equipment and materials. There is having the separate space or adequate space in order to store all the equipments and the materials. D. Equipments. Here the equipments which are used in the manufacturing, processing, packaging, and holding of drug product will having the appropriate design, adequate size, and suitable location, and helps to do the proper operation, and at the proper interval of time it is undergo cleaning and maintenance. Any substance required for operation such as lubrication and coolants and some of the components to the containers and the drug product, so the safety, identity, strength, quality, or purity of the drug product should be achieved. E. Control of components and drug product containers and closures. There shall be written procedure describing in sufficient detail, that is identification, storage, handling, sampling, testing, and approval or rejection of components and drug products. Such written procedure shall be followed. F. Production and process controls. There shall be written procedure for production and process control designed to assure that the product having the identity, strength, quality, and purity. And written production and process control procedure shall be followed to the various production and process control function, and shall be documented with time to time interval, and any deviation from written procedure shall be recorded and also justified to the authority. G. Subpart G. packaging and labeling controls. The written procedure describing in sufficient detail for identification, storage, handling, sampling, examination, and any labeling or packaging materials meeting appropriate written specification may be approved and released for use. If the labeling should meet the written specification, what they are going to claiming, then it should be approved, then released for use. H. Holding and distribution. Storage of drugs should be maintained at proper temperature, humidity and light. So this is the oldest approved drug product is distributed first. So which drug is stored earlier, it should distribute first. And any deviation appears in the distributed drug product, it can be easily recalled. And this is the main thing in the market. If anything like adverse event, adverse drug reaction happened, it should be properly recalled with channelized manner. Subpart I, laboratory controls. The establishment of any specification, standard, sampling plan, test procedure and other laboratory control mechanisms required by this subpart. Here any changes in the specification, standard, sampling plans or any laboratory control mechanisms shall be drafted, reviewed, approved by the quality control unit. So if any changes in the laboratory controls, like I told here, any procedure or any control mechanism, it should be drafted first, prior drafted, and it should be taken approval from respective authority. Then they will going to conduct the or they are going to implement in the laboratory changes. J. Records and reports. This is one of the important part in the cGMP, like records and reports. Without any records or any documents, we are not going to do any audits or any documentation verification inspections. So a written record of major equipment cleaning, maintenance and shall be included in individual equipment logs and show the date and time and the quantity of which each drug used in the process with container number and labeling and supplier lot number are recorded. And this is mainly helpful for any problem occur during or after the formulation done. And subpart K, returned and salvaged drug product. And if the returned drug product have been held, stored or shipped before or during the return or during shipping on the safety, identity, strength, quality or purity of a drug product, the returned drug product shall be destroyed unless examination testing are done. Without doing the proper testing, we are not going to, or we are without doing any examination of the test from the sample or from the drug which is returned or returned from the market, we are not going to destroy it. And the drug product have been subjected to the improper storage condition like extreme temperature, humidity, smoke, fumes, pressure or some radiations shall not be salvaged and returned to the marketplace. These are the principles which are involving in the GMP. Design and construct the facilities and equipment properly, follow written procedures, document work, validate work, monitoring facilities and equipment, and written step-by-step operating procedures, that is SOP, design, develop and demonstrate job competency, and protect against contamination, and control components and product related process, and product planned and periodic audit. These are the main principles which are involving in the good manufacturing practice. These are my references. Thank you.